Hey everybody, welcome back. Stoner Jesus Show. On the video chat, we have Sex Coach Sarah at the Mindful Minx on Twitter, patreon.com/ the Mindful Minx for the good stuff, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. For those of you listening to the audio version, that's Minx with an X. Sarah, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm excited to have you. Your Twitter, obviously, what stands out in the bio part is sex coach in training.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean, and what kind of led you to that career path?
Okay. Well, I've always been a really sexual person, and I grew up in a very conservative Christian household. So being on the Stoner Jesus show is like epic.
Yes,
So,
childhood
you
repression is good for this type of thing.
know, so when I was younger, I really wanted to do something with sex, but when you're young, and even when I'm in my mid 40s, you say, oh, what will my parents think? Which is horrible. So I got off that train and did like the whole MRS degree from college and had kids and all that. But when I discovered myself more on Twitter and that I'm a wee bit of an exhibitionist, um, and people just started, when you start to show your tits and ass, people want to talk to you about sex.
Absolutely.
So I said, okay, well, there's something in my past that I wanted to do. What can I do to incorporate people feeling comfortable talking to me about sex? So I just started looking, and that you could actually get a certification as a sex coach. So I wouldn't have to go
Ah,
back to school to be a sex therapist. So right now I am in training at actually something called Sex Coach University. And so I am doing that right now. And but again, I get a lot of people coming to me about sex, and I said I just want to be a friend that people can talk to.
yeah. So I was going to ask you about the accreditation process. I had no idea what one would have to go through to be a sex coach, but that's pretty awesome.
Well, you really don't have to be certified. Anyone
Right.
can put up a shingle and be a sex coach, but I just wanted people to know that I was taking this seriously. I was just not, some random person on the internet that likes to show her boobs and ass and wants to talk about sex. That I'm really paying the money, taking the time to do this, and it's awesome. And I want to be a sexpert. So
Hey, it's one of the best things you can aspire to be. You mentioned like what family would think. Was there any issues with your family about your new career choice?
um well, they really don't know yet. So
Okay.
this is kind of a little bit of coming up. They know that I'm going back to school to be a life coach. They just don't know that I am pursuing just working with people with sexual issues. And I wanted to wait till I got through my certification and such. And, my family doesn't have to know everything that I'm doing. I left
Right.
the corporate world and I said, screw it. I want to live the life that I want to live. And so everyone's going to have to just get on board. So,
Not to toot my own horn too much, but this is a fairly large platform, so that something might, reach them. I don't know how many of them are big fans of the Stoner Jesus show, but you never know about people.
well, I'm super excited, and I said, it's YOLO. You only live once. So this might be my coming out, Stoner Jesus. I love
Absolutely. Well, if
it.
so, we're proud to be a part of it. Your Patreon. Tell us a little bit about what goes on in your Patreon and like sessions with people and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. Well, my Patreon, I have been on the not safe for work side of Twitter on and off for about 10 years now. And so I have tried pretty much a lot of different platforms. The OnlyFans, you see a lot of people doing OnlyFans. Um, Premium Snapchat, which I had, that is part of my Patreon. So I just wanted to give people a little bit of a sneak peek behind, what they see on Twitter, see all of me. I'm not like like a porn star. I don't say I'm a porn star. I'm not doing stuff with other people,
Yeah,
even though my husband and I just finished the milking table, but we can talk about that later if you, if you
I bet we will.
so, there's so many people out there who are doing things similar to me. And I just wanted, with leaving the corporate world and wanting to pursue being a sex coach, I just really wanted people who felt something, a connection with me, to support me and see more of me. And so I do a lot on Snapchat, my premium Snapchat, which is through my Patreon. But I also just made a tier that people can spend one-on-one time with me talking about sex issues. So that has been fantastic. So basically, once a week, you can have 15 minutes with me. I'm thinking about bumping it up to 30 minutes because we seem to run out of time. And it's people from different walks of life who just want to talk about improving their sex life with their spouse, to wanting to see me dressed in lingerie, which is, so it all depends on what they're looking for.
The one-on-one stuff, do you get a lot of couples in that, or is it mainly just one half of a couple or single people?
Um, right now it's more one half. I'm starting to get more couples, especially those who are looking to open up their relationships or delve into the swingers community. So that it has been a lot of fun because I have experienced that myself. And I know the swingers community is kind of a interesting community to kind of navigate. So it's fun helping be someone's guide.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to get, I've put out calls on Twitter and stuff and tried to get a hold of people who are swingers, like couples, to have them come on the show and talk about the lifestyle, but I haven't been successful as of yet. But hopefully I will be
Really?
now. Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully when I
I
reach
hope.
your audience, I'll have some takers on that.
Yes, yes. There are. I have tons of swingers that are following me, and it is a lot of fun. And even if you don't want to participate in that lifestyle, just going to an event as a couple is really eye-opening. I say it's like spring break for middle-aged people. So if you want to, dress sexy and see people of just all shapes and sizes, just open and having a good time, and there's not pressure. It's not like you walk in and you have to start having sex with people. It's not like that at all. So
Yeah.
um,
So in your connections and your talks with people and in various areas on the internet, what's some of the more common fetishes that you run across? And if you want to talk about the milking table at this point, this would be a good
okay.
place to squeeze that in.
We can talk about that later. You know, I I I say I never know what I'm gonna get. Again, I'm so appreciative that people have found my like teeny tiny little corner of Twitter, and that they feel comfortable enough to talk about their most private, intimate details. Um, I am learning something new every day. The whole panty fetish thing is new to me, which is huge. But I actually just started. People have been requesting my panties, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a try. There's a lot of men that come to me because their partner is just not interested in having sex anymore. So we talk a lot about that. And again, how they probably found me makes sense. I'm showing myself and they feel comfortable talking to
Yeah.
me, which is awesome, which is super awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine this day and age, well, I mean, it's more of an inviting aspect to bring people in. But I think most guys, even in this day and age of being more respectful towards women, they're still not shy about these issues when talking to a woman on the internet. I'd imagine.
No, and I have such a heart for men. I grew up a tomboy, but I was the fast girl, but I wasn't slutty. You know what I mean? So like I was a monogamous slut maybe, but I just love to surround myself with guys. So being able to be on a platform where majority of my followers had to get that out, are men, is fantastic. because it's tough out there for a dude right now. So, and I want them to feel that they can talk to me about anything.
Awesome. So we're talking with sex coach Sarah, the Mindful Minx with an X on Twitter, patreon.com/, the Mindful Minx. Switching gears a little bit, of course, we love cannabis here. We love Mary Jane. You do as well. I imagine point to your
Do.
Twitter bio. When did you first try marijuana, and did you get high when you did so?
I did. I have been a cannabis user for 30 years. So, but I joke that it's only been the past year that I've really paid attention to what I was smoking. I was an equal opportunity weed smoker, kind of like Frankenstein, like, ooh, weed, good. Oh, what do you got there? I'm gonna smoke it. Um, but it wasn't until the past year that I've actually got my card for medical marijuana that has broadened my horizons. And it's like, oh, the lights go down on me. I remember the day that I went to this dispensary and I walked out and I just sat in my car and I cried like tears of joy. I said, I can't believe that I'm actually doing this. So I'm more in tune now. I mean, I didn't even know that there was different strains. It's just I got what I got,
Yeah.
you know. So and now it's like, wow, this is a whole new world. So I am definitely, I consider myself a stoner girl. I'm trying to incorporate that more in my social media, because it's just such a big part of who I am and what makes me me, and I'm proud of that, and I would love to incorporate more of the mindfulness, and cannabis and sex would be fantastic.
Yeah, you find that cannabis is helpful for you when it comes to sex and can be helpful for others.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is just one of those things that takes you down, makes you feel more, and especially when you're doing it with your partner, it has really just skyrocketed my experience and turning off my brain, because I think for women especially, we get stuck in our brains and like, oh, does my belly look okay, or is he enjoying this? And with cannabis, it just kind of mellows you out. As you know, I'm preaching to the choir.
Yes,
It just makes you more receptive to the sensations and be more present.
absolutely. So we ask this question to everybody that comes on the show, pretty much. And if with someone with a long history of cannabis use, you probably have some great stories. But if I ask you about the highest you've ever been, is there like a specific incident or event that comes to mind?
There really isn't. I have been pretty high. I wish I could take it down a few notches and feel like I didn't have to get super high. But there really isn't something that, well, no, I think now that I am taking more like edibles and such, it has
Yeah,
just kind of catapulted my experience. So,
another level.
but to a different level. I mean, I have done some crazy things, and if cannabis is part of it, which it typically is, it's just kind of a tsunami effect of everything going on with me.
So you mentioned edibles. Is edibles now your favorite way of ingesting, or do you still have an old favorite?
I am pretty much with vaping. I like that. I've been doing more of the capsules, which I like, especially with having a family. You don't want the whole house smelling,
Yeah.
um, with young kids. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. So, yeah.
With kids, do you worry at all about them finding things online in relation to what you do?
Yes, I do. And it's not them, that I'm worried about them, because I'm trying to raise kids who are proud of their authentic self. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to be, is who I really want to be. It's just the other kids are cruel.
Yeah.
So I don't want, like my daughter's boyfriends finding me. But if they do, they do. And I'm sure my kids would be like, Mom, we kind of knew that this was you.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a free spirit, so they wouldn't be surprised.
Well, for any kids who may see this and make the connection or whatever, don't be an asshole. You know,
Don't be an asshole.
right?
Right, right.
Jesus will
Thank
punish
you.
you. There's all kinds of stuff in the Bible I can bring out.
I
All kinds
know,
of
I know.
trouble.
Hey, me too. Me too. I was a Bible thumping person before, so this is fantastic that I'm on Stoner Jesus.
Well, it's great to have you. You said over the last year you've tried a lot of different strains and stuff like that. Do you have any favorites so far, and if so, why?
Well, for my medical condition, I have really enjoyed key lime pie. It's really good for I suffer from PTSD, so that has been really really helpful. Again, in the state that I'm at, it's difficult to kind of know what they're giving you. They tell you colors, like okay, so I guess I'll have blue, um, and see if this works. But you can kind of find your way around a little bit.
Yeah. So before we did this interview, we had kind of a build up on it to it on Twitter, and tried to solicit some questions from Twitter, which can be a nifty proposition, especially when it comes to publicly asking for sex
Right.
tips and such. But we did get a taker. For those of you watching the video version, I'll put that up there now. It's Pick Pot Talk on Twitter. Says, happily married for 10 years. Sex has never been an issue for us, and I'd like to keep it that way. What tips, tricks, or advice do you have for us to keep things that way? Thank you, Pick Pot Talk, for the question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Sarah?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, bravo. I don't hear that very often that sex is not an issue. So I would definitely suggest as a tip is to start doubling your frequency. So they say like the average couple has sex 3 times a week. So say you're having it 3 times a week, try for 6 times a week. So this past month, I have been doing a challenge myself as to have sex every single day, which I'm a really sexual person, so it's been easy. But there's times you just want to sit on the couch and watch like your new Netflix show, and you're like, I'm in my sweats. So I totally recommend if you get the urge to have sex, act on it. Do it and just say, we're going to go in the bedroom right now. And even if you're like, oh, this is not what I want to do right now, the minute you start doing it, you're going to get into it. So try and set like little goals for yourself. Say, okay, maybe we want to try and, doubling our frequency. Let's connect every now and then to see how we are doing with our sex life. I mean, do we need it more? What are your fantasies? I mean, this is all nothing new since the dawn of time. People have been having sex, but
Hopefully,
life just yeah,
when they
yeah,
can.
life when they can, but life gets in the way. Life gets in the way.
Absolutely.
You have kids, you have jobs, you have this, so you really, and it sounds so boring and not sexy at all to schedule it, but you really do. You need to make it a priority. Like we're having a date night, and then no matter what, we're gonna have sex. Or when we put little Johnny to bed at 8:30, 8:35, you better be on the bed naked, and I'm coming in, and we're gonna get it on. Even if it lasts just 15 minutes, it's like it's great, the endorphins, and you feel great, and the bonding and the intimacy. So you can't beat it.
Absolutely. So there you go. Pick Pot Talk. I hope that answered your question. What's the most common thing people ask you? You said that was kind of good to hear and not you don't hear very often. What's the most common thing you hear when it comes to your interactions
Oh
on the internet?
my gosh. I say like I feel like Forrest Gump, and whenever I open my Twitter and go to my DMs, it's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get. Seriously. And like sometimes I need to pinch myself saying someone is asking me about this. I am so lucky. How did I get to do something so awesome? Um, let's see. I just a lot of people asking if they feel like they're masturbating a lot.
Okay.
And if that's an issue, that they still want to be intimate with their partner, but they're just enjoying their alone time. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. Self love and learning your body and that release is so normal, and you need to do it. And actually, it's going to make you better for sex with your partner.
Yeah. I had a guy on here a couple years ago. His name was Joseph Fan, Fan. He wrote a book called Stop Masturbating and Start Living Life. And it was basically it was a short book about him. And he said he was so addicted to masturbating, and he was adding up one day all of the hours he spent, and realized that his life, was kind of passing him by, and it made him suicidal. And it was a crazy extreme position that he got to.
Yes, and it's so funny. That it's so true, because that's what I say. Are you not able to go to work? Are you isolating and don't have any friends because you're masturbating so much? Then yes, that is an issue.
Yeah.
If it's not, if you're doing it once, twice, even 3 times a day, good for you. If it's not interfering with your life, I say, keep going.
Yeah, he said it was taking him like hours at a time for sessions, and I've never been that involved. So I guess I'm in a good spot.
Well, and it's funny because I was just talking to someone about that, about their alone time, and I highly recommend taking a longer period for yourself.
Okay.
Spend some time, just feeling things out and seeing how long you can go, because it will help you in the long run with like your stamina and such.
Awesome. So as far as future, hey, everybody can take that advice. And if they, even if you didn't give it, I'm sure they're going to take that advice. um, as far as the future goes, what are your plans besides your accreditation or whatever, and continuing to build your brand on social media? Do you have any other kind of projects or anything else in the works?
Uh, as of right now, it's just getting through my certification.
Mhm.
I am going to be putting up a link that people can schedule time with me. I would like to have more one-on-one calls, because this is really what I want to be doing, is working with people one-on-one on their sex goals. And, I say people have nutritionists, financial planners, uh, 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 fitness people. Why not someone to talk about sex? Because when sex
Absolutely.
is working great for you, you know, things seem to fall in line. You're like, I'm feeling pretty damn good about myself. I'm getting laid all the time. So I want that for people.
Absolutely. I want that for myself. I want that for everyone.
Well,
Go
let's
forth and get
talk.
laid. Besides Twitter, obviously the at the Mindful Minx, and Patreon, patreon.com/the Mindful Minx, Minx with an X, of course. Are there any other
Yeah.
places online, social media that people can find you?
I do have an Instagram. I took a little bit of a step back from that, but I'm going to start posting more. Twitter's really the place for you to find me right now. I just love the people that I have met there. It's just such a great community, especially on like our little not safe for work corner.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun, and just great like-minded people. So that's really where I'm going to be, and people can find me there.
awesome. Go check her out. Sex Coach Sarah, the Mindful Minx, on Twitter. Sarah, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Not
Thank
a
you so
problem.
much.
Anytime you want to come back, you have anything to promote, you just want to talk about something, let me know. We're here.
Sounds good. Hopefully next time we'll get more questions. So, I
Absolutely.
would love to come back. That would be fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.